There are so many things you should avoid saying to your boss, even if you're friends, because one mistake could throw your career into a tailspin. I have chosen 13 phrases that I think you really should avoid. You might have others that you think should be on the list, and let me know in the comments if you do. If you disagree with some of the statements that I've listed, let me know that also. And before I get into it, I'll ask that you please like and subscribe if you like my content. It goes a really long way in helping me continue to bring you content like this because I really enjoy doing it. All right, let's get into it. Number one, that's not in my job description. I get calls very often, in fact, from employees who wonder if they can sue because their employer has asked them to do something that's not in their job description. The reality is your employer can ask you to do pretty much anything, so long as they're not asking you to do so because of your age, race, sex, gender, disability. If they're asking one group to do things that they're not asking another group to do that, and that group is outside of that group's protected class, or I'll just say it this way. If they're asking only women to do something and the men never have to do it, then that could be discrimination. But just asking you to do something that's not in your job description is not illegal. And when you say to a supervisor, that's not in my job description, it comes off as being inflexible or unwilling to work with others. A better idea is to say something like, I haven't done that before, but I'm happy to learn. Number two, I didn't know I was supposed to do that. So that sort of signals a lack of attention to detail. A better way to say it is, maybe I misunderstood the expectations. Can we clarify the priorities? Number three, I'm too busy for that. Implies poor time management and certainly a lack of team spirit. I don't think I know people who say that, but maybe you do. Let me know. A better idea is to say, I'm currently working on whatever project. How would you like me to prioritize? Because at the end of the day, you're there to do the work that they assign to you. And if they value something more than another project, then they get to tell you that. So just ask them that way. Number four, I'll try. That sounds very uncertain. It sounds very non-committal. So perhaps a better thing to say is, I'll make sure it gets done, or I'll find a way to make sure we can make it work. Or my favorite, I'm on it. Number five, that's not my fault. So deflecting blame rarely helps. A better thing to say would be, here's what happened, and here's how I plan to fix it. Number six, well, I didn't think it was important. That makes you seem out of touch with business priorities. You should know what's important and what's not. And if you don't, let's figure out a better way to say that. Perhaps you should say, I wasn't sure how urgent it was. Should I move it up on the list? Number seven, I'm just here for the paycheck. Now, I am very big on going to work, doing your job, getting your paycheck, and going home. Because personally, I feel like the more you treat work like a business transaction, the better. But even if that's how you feel, we don't have to really, let them know that. So, because for them, it sounds demotivating and unprofessional. So a better thing to do in this case is just keep it to yourself altogether. Number eight, I heard a rumor. Gossiping undermines trust and professionalism. That's, never a good thing. So instead, you should focus on facts and not speculation. Number nine, I can't work with insert coworker's name. Yeah, that's just like, high school stuff. We are, and even if you feel like it's hard to work with them, you just don't say it because it signals poor conflict resolution skills. You should be able to at least be adult about it and work it out. So what you can say, if you feel like the person is really a problem and then it's going to create some difficulty with you working with them, what you can say is, we've had some challenges working together. Can we discuss some ways to improve that? So, at least you're putting it out there, but at the same time, not saying just, flat out, I can't work with that person. Number 10, you're wrong. Direct confrontation can escalate tension. So a better way to say it is, I think we see things a little bit differently. Can I share my perspective? I have some great ideas. Number 11, I need a raise. It's fine if you need a raise, but there's a way to let your boss know that. That discussion is important, but simply stating, I need a raise comes across as demanding and self-centered without justifying your value. I've had people, and this is where I'll remind you, I am also an employer, even though I am absolutely an employee advocate, but I am also an employer, and I have been for 2 decades. But, I've had employees say to me, I need a raise because I've got this bill coming up or this expense coming up. That is not something you say to your boss. If you need a raise, there's a time and place to discuss that. And what you do is tell your boss what you have done to deserve a raise. Sell yourself. So, you approach them and say, I'd like to discuss my compensation based on my contributions, achievements, and then list them. And the market value is X. I believe a raise to whatever amount would be appropriate. Your boss will absolutely appreciate that. Number 12, it's not fair. Oh, that's a no-go. This can sound whiny and immature because, if you've lived for a while, you know that life really is not fair. And while genuine unfairness should be addressed, saying it this way really does sound unprofessional. So it really does lack professionalism. A better approach would be, I am trying to understand the decision-making process here, as I'm concerned about how X impacts Y, however you say it. Could we discuss it? So approach it from a position of seeking to understand. And number 13, no, or that's impossible. Even if your boss is asking you something that seems impossible, you should avoid the urge to blurt out no, or, that just can't happen. Managers want to hear about solutions and not problems. You're going to immediately shut them down if you send the signal that you are inflexible. So again, you might agree or disagree. Let me know in the comments. If you have others to add to the list, I'd love to hear them. But try out some of these responses that I have suggested, and hopefully that works well for you. I'll see you next shift.